Hello.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
We're going now.
Countdown. Are we going?
Mm-hmm.
I never know if we're going.
Yeah, we were already going.
Hello,
Let's go like
hello,
this. Let's go like
hello.
this.
Oh! Normally, if you do a countdown,
I did it like
just
perfect as well.
one countdown.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I was like, what if I just keep doing it and hope that it goes live? Yeah, that checks out. Right. I'm just going to make sure the stream's all good on my end.
Yep,
Hopefully,
sounds
we'll
on.
have some people trickling in. Trickle.
My mic is on.
Who's
Mic is
Mike?
on. Close
Good.
RuneScape.
Good evening. Good evening. RuneScape.
It's still open. Close RuneScape. Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hi, 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 hi. Keep an eye on this one. Hello there. General Kenobi. Coming live from the 2D animated purplescape of Discord.
Turning red.
Turning red? But what does it mean?
Turning red.
Yeah. Right, let's see if we can. Should we just go for it? Go through the intros. I think it's time. I think maybe another minute or two. Just wait for people to come on in. Hello, we know you're out there. Is anybody out there?
Yeah, mate.
So how have you been, Callum?
Pretty good. Been on holiday.
Good stuff, man.
Holiday.
Yeah. Been on holiday. Where you been?
The Bloodstock Festival.
Bloodstock. I'm a little jealous.
Hard.
Although me and Aaron did work the Nozfest this weekend, that was really fucking good.
Yeah, but did Lamb of God play that?
You told me Lamb of God were a little cringe.
Yeah, a little cringe, but it's still Lamb of God though. like
Yeah,
Metallica's
fair
cringe, but it's Metallica, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Like...
Right, I think let's kick this off. So, hello everyone. Good evening. I hope you're well. I'm Simon, and this is Callum. To my left, I think on screen.
That'd be your left.
That's cool.
Wait, where's on the left?
He's the only other guy, so that's Callum at the moment. However, we do have our guest on this evening, Nori J, from now Bristol, actually. But we know him from playing in Bournemouth in Dorset area. We had a show with him up at one of the Sandfest qualifiers at the Sandford pub in Wareham. So looking forward to bringing him in and having a chat. So a few bits of news from us. We've got the show this weekend. This is the big one for August. And that is a free entry show. At the Sandford pub in Wareham on Saturday afternoon. There's a bunch of really talented artists playing, lots of different styles of music. So please do try and come on down. We're going to be sticking around, having a few drinks. I don't believe we're lumbered with the drum kit this time, so we can stay a little later and have a bit of fun with you guys. Other than that, this month there's not too much going on. Our London show is actually in October. We thought it was in August. That was yes.
You had it down in the diary as October.
Yeah, I had to change it in the diary to October
because
I put it in.
Always October.
I feel like I might have just got confused about the whole matter. Maybe just now, and who knows? But either way,
when's the Lighthouse show then?
Lighthouse is also in October.
Okay.
So that will be our next local show following the show this Saturday. So if you can't make that, that's your next opportunity to come see us live. Although that's a long way away. So do try and make it down on Saturday. That's hosted by AMG Presents and Rock Regeneration, I believe.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really awesome show. Come down, support your favorite bands and artists there. I believe there's a competitive element to it, but we're in it for the show. So we're hoping that we can put on a good one for you. So without further ado, I'm going to go and get our esteemed guest, Nori J, in, and we'll say hello to Nori J and have a bit of a chat. So be right back.
Bye.
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 It's the. I'll bring him
It's
back.
did the meme. Okay,
Mm.
funny one.
Evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep, all good.
Phenomenal.
Perfect. How are you doing this evening?
Not too bad, buddy. Not too bad. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic. Great, thank you. It's been a good week so far, so can't complain.
Man.
We're really glad that you could make it on this evening. We're looking forward to having a good chat. Um, so I've mentioned already our background in knowing you. We played a show with you last month over in Wareham. Um, but for the fans watching who don't know who you are, please tell them a bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I graduated doing a commercial music course over in Bath and moved back down with my family in sort of actually like a year ago, back to sort of Paul Bournemouth. And then I started off my solo project in Nori J in September. And I've just been releasing singles and EPs and just sort of just seeing how far I can really push it, and obviously bumped into you guys at the event organized by David Chinnery over at the Sanford pub. We've played sort of Lighthouse, we've done like a London gig, like we're making very good progress, and I'm just sort of gigging with like my best mates pretty much. So I'm very fortunate to be able to do sort of my solo project stuff and just have like my closest mates be my like session musicians basically. So the band that you saw at Sanford, I had my best mate Charlie on bass, Heidi Cole, who I've known for years. We've done like musicals together. She's on the keys, and then Kieran Bartlett, who was I found through my first job at Marks and Spencers of all places. He's on the drums for me. So I got quite a nice little thing going. And although I am sort of Bristol based now, and I'll be doing lots of sort of solo stuff up there, I will be coming back to do as many gigs with those guys as possible, I think. So yeah, basically writing indie pop, so influenced by your Gus Dapperton, your boy Pablo, your Dayglow, um, lots of sort of independent producers, and just sort of pop songs with jazz chords. And um, I write every song as different as I can, really. So I think you'll see a lot of the set that we've got planned for Saturday will be completely different from, well, each song will be completely different from the last. So I'm excited to sort of share it with you.
That's great. Yeah, there's a few things there to pick up on then. So obviously, I think it's so important to have a band that has a really tight bond, especially like if you're heading a solo project, they need to really trust in you to deliver what you're writing as well. So it's really good. I think it's absolutely awesome that you've got a band of like, people you can trust around you, good friends. Um, it took us a long time to get to that point, I think, with this act actually. So it's really good that you've got that at this early stage, and hopefully we'll see more of you guys.
Well, I've had previous projects before where people have been, they've been other people doing music courses as a living or whatever.
Mm.
And I coming out of that and starting my solo project, I was sort of thinking, well, it's much better to have people who enjoy performing and have a drive for it, rather than people that just sort of pick up their instrument and go, oh, I guess I'll just do it. And
Yeah.
it's so much better and more enjoyable this way. Like we had our first wedding gig over the weekend.
Oh wow.
Um, and the gig ended with us smacking golf balls off the top of a very ancient building down into a lake. So we're smashing it at the moment. I'm very proud of them all.
That's fantastic. And yeah, I think there's something to be said definitely for that kind of kinship going there. And um not to knock session musicians in any way, of course, extremely talented. But I feel like there's a better connection when you know the people around you and you're making music with them. It just everything seems to flow a bit more naturally.
100%. Yeah, 100%. And we can just we it's not just like a music club like other projects have been. It's very much like, oh, should we hang around? Should we go to Spoons? Should we go for whatever? And we hang out outside of band as well, and we go to gigs
Mhm.
together, and it's a very nice atmosphere that we've got.
That's absolutely awesome. And I
Yeah.
think the other thing you mentioned there is that when it comes to the writing process, you tend to have quite a bit of variation in your writing. And I think that's a really cool thing. I think there's a lot of bands out there, a lot of artists out there. You'll pick up an album and it'll be consistently the same good song, the same good sort of sound over every song on that album. So it's quite nice to hear you got a bit of variation going on. And from what we heard of you, um, when we saw you play just a few weeks back, actually. Um, yeah, that really shows, and I think I think that was quite a standout thing that came
Mm.
from your performance. To be fair.
Yeah, it's my aim is to sort of, because music in the sort of digital era that we're in with streaming and everything like that, it's all about dropping it onto playlists, isn't it?
Yeah.
And radios, and if I can have a song on an indie playlist, if I can have a song on like a sad playlist, and I can just spread like COVID across the uh, Spotify playlists, then I think that's a much nicer tactic for me. Plus, it never gets dry with writing.
Yeah.
My song that's done the best is Fairy Dust, and
Mhm.
I could write 4 Fairy Dusts, and they could all be in the same sort of area. But or you could write, Fairy Dust, Lucky. They're all completely different, and it just is a bit more enjoyable for me as well.
Absolutely. And if anyone hasn't listened to Fairy Dust, it's in the description for this video now. So do give that a listen this evening. Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah,
quite like that track. So yeah, I kind of was just checking, making sure.
it was. I
Um,
remember.
yeah.
Because every
So
time you do,
Marie Kate Taylor, go on. Sorry.
every time you do the links, it shortens them. So you have to like
Oh right,
redo
yeah.
it every single time. And I'm like,
Oh, of course, yeah. The dot dot dot.
yeah, it's like dot
That's an
dot dot. And
absolute
you're like,
nightmare. So Marie has posted in and said hello. Well, hey. So good evening, Marie. Hope you're well. Um, so I think kind of alluding to that variation in songwriting again. Uh, there's kind of a nice for you in terms of bringing fans into your fold. It's really nice that you're able to pull them from different areas of similar music. But I'd still say, and I think it's quite important as well that you've done well, is that all the songs still sound like they're by you, even though they are different.
Yeah, it's both. I have very sort of floaty melodies in that they aren't too they're quite conjunct, they're quite sort of easy listening um and hooky. I seem to have a phobia of writing a bridge.
Mm.
I didn't discover this until the EP came out, and I don't think any of them have a bridge. Uh so,
Yeah,
so
I
I'm
understand that.
bridgeless.
Yeah.
I'm bridgeless with floaty melodies and usually happy songs with sad lyrics. It seems to be, and jazz chords seems to be what sort of binds them all together.
Mm,
Um, but yeah, it's been quite good sort of seeing how far I can push it, and like the people at like Co-op Radio and BBC introducing, and like all these
mm,
people that have just given me like a platform, and like Voice FM, for example, and it's just been it's just been really well received, I think. And I'm coming into my it came up on my Snapchat memories. It was like a year ago, like yesterday, I think, or the day
mm,
before, that I announced that I was going to become Nori J as a solo thing rather than a band thing.
mhm.
Um, so it's sort of like I'm a year in now, approaching this Sandfest thing, and it's gone really quick, and I've done really, really well for myself, and I just want to keep pushing it and see how far I can take it.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think the sort of sense of adventure is one of the key reasons we do what we do. Actually, I think it's
How do
very
you guys?
important to have that.
What's your writing? I'm intrigued. What's your writing process like then as a
Oh,
band?
process. That's the problem, isn't it? No,
it's yeah, very
we
shit at the wall, isn't it? Pretty
yeah,
much at the moment.
essentially.
It's been
So,
like we did recently. We went through all the little ideas we had recently on
mhm,
your computer, wasn't it? And gone through
yes,
like, yeah, that was shit, or oh, we can maybe work that into something else, because that was one of our other songs, didn't we? When we heard it was like literally just a riff we'd like record and be like, yeah, we can probably turn that into something eventually, when you forget
mhm.
about it. But yeah, then we went back
So
and we're like writing a new song at the moment, and it's kind of like we could probably try and squeeze it in. If you can force it in enough and change it just enough,
yeah, it has to suit. It
always a
has to
reason to
suit.
keep everything.
Mm,
But in terms of a process, I guess the closest thing we've got, a lot of our ideas are they're very organic. We don't try and sit down, write a song, and go right. Here's what we want it to sound like. Like it's more that we'll have influences toward that song that we're aware of, and we'll share that with the band, and we'll say right in the style of this artist, this is the kind of thing we're after, but it needs to sound more like us. But a lot of the time it's from concept. So, for example, Bedlam was all written around the concept of one of the UK's, in fact, the UK's most infamous asylum, which was called Bethlehem, and was nicknamed Bedlam for all the awful practices and just madness that was going on there. So I think personally, when it comes to lyrics, concepts, I think I'm most interested in writing around. But then sometimes an idea will just come up and it will just be a voice note on a phone, or infamously, I'll phone up Stevie and leave voicemails just with like little riff ideas like doom 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 and all this kind of stuff just down the phone. But we seem to be able to mold that into a song somehow. So
It's
yeah,
quite good to have a it's quite good to have a writing. I've had that before, having sort of a writing partner that you can just call up at
mm,
random moments. Seeing a guitar riff that sounds, if someone else was to hear it, it would sound like you've gone absolutely insane. But then
yeah.
turning that into, well, obviously like a finished product, like Bedlam. So that's
Exactly
quite
that. And that kind of riff, a good example of a riff that was written in that way was Sold, actually. That main riff after the chorus is completely just a voice note somewhere on a phone. That's how it came about. So yeah, that whole song came from that. Um, but I think a lot of the time, I've heard this said before, I don't remember who by, but a lot of the time when it comes to songwriting, the ideas sort of come down to you. It's not like we're constructing it from the bottom up a lot of the time. It's more like, oh, something comes to you, and like sometimes a dream, even, to
Mm.
sound a bit. But yeah, sometimes it falls into your head, and you're like, oh, there's something to that. And
And
for
do you
some reason,
find that a lot of the time your songs the idea will be what ends up being in like the middle of the song, and you're building outwards rather than sort of
oh yeah,
linear?
yeah, absolutely. I don't think we've ever written a song in a linear
Chorus first. Yeah, I
fashion.
don't think we've ever done like chorus first. I think
Or
we've
yeah,
it's
it's
normally just been like the main hook kind of thing, but sometimes we do reuse other things for a
yeah,
chorus. I remember
yeah.
it
So
was Hero, wasn't it? We took a while to do the chorus for Hero.
actually, that's the intro for Hero was written first, actually.
Yeah,
So there is, yeah, that is probably the only one though.
but we did the chorus last pretty much. You had
Yeah.
the vocal melody, didn't you, I think,
Mhm.
but it was just getting the guitars down. And it was when we were at band practice, wasn't it? We're like, oh, let's
It,
just
it
try it.
was a jam.
Let's just jam. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's
I
the
think
best way,
I
isn't
love it
it?
when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's raw, isn't it?
Raw.
So do you all get into a rehearsal room and then the sort of songs stem there, or is it often
Sometimes.
that you come to the rehearsal rooms and go, guys, I've just created an absolute cracker. Can we,
Yeah. Well, for us, it's definitely a mix of both.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a mix of both. Like I said, there's not really one streamlined process we have. We have a demo process and sort of like a pre-production process before hitting the studio, and part of that process is testing it on audiences, seeing what their reactions are. In terms of demoing, I've got some experience with recording, so engineering. So we do all that on my computer, and we put together a pretty cohesive demo. Um, but other than that, the songs can really they can come from any angle. We've had bass riffs, guitar riffs, chord patterns, even just drum grooves that we've jammed over.
Piano.
Um, yeah,
You playing the
sometimes
piano?
from piano, I come
Yeah.
from piano perspective, yeah, but yeah, it really is, and I really like that process because I'm glad you brought it up that having a bit of variation in the songwriting is really important because we very much try to make sure that each song sounds in some way unique um, compared with the rest that are on that sort of EP or album or whatever. So
Mm.
yeah, definitely, that's something I think we have quite in common, even though they're completely different styles. I think that's a really good practice. That.
I think it's a good way to go. Like a big influence from me from that perspective is like the 1975 and the way they handle, okay, now we're gonna make, a dance song. Now we're gonna write a jungle tune. Now we're gonna
Mm,
like they did punk, they did country, they did like 80s, they did
yeah,
funk. They've done, and they're one of their recent songs has it's just like a cello riff that they've got going on. And I
yeah,
think just rather than create the same thing, which is what I did sort of early songwriting. And I feel like songwriting for me always started from like spite. It almost started from like, oh, F you, you did this,
mm,
you did that, you made me feel, and the lyrics were just so direct and not me at all.
mm.
To then transform into like, I don't know, some storytelling with instrument that I've never used before. And it's just a lot more interesting for my behalf. And I think it's cool that you
Mm.
guys do that as well. I think that's quite a skill to have, I think.
Yeah, I
Especially
think
for especially for like a rock sort of metal, like more hardcore band. where it can be even harder to distinguish between the songs, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think one of the, I guess one of the key takeaways from that is never limit yourself. Really, just if you've got an idea, it doesn't matter how sort of outlandish or unlike your other songs it might sound, get that idea down and experiment with it. We kind of have a rule within the band that it's like we will only criticize once the song's complete. It's sort of a practice we try and make sure, because once it's at that stage, you've got the creativity out there, and because I think it's so important not to be held back by negativity when it comes to creating something. You need to be just in the right zone to create. And I think we've all had days where it's like writer's block. Seriously, it's just a lot of the time negativity, internal negativity, bring you down. So, or other things in life, just they get in the way sometimes. But yeah, I think definitely for us when it comes to writing, it's very much like don't be limited by the idea. Just let the idea happen, let it flow. Because I mean, it's music. It's an incredibly human thing. It's there aren't really many other animals. Maybe birds dance and stuff, but not many other animals that deal with music in the way that we do, or rhythm in the way that we do.
Yeah,
And I think,
my dog's
go
got
on.
quite a good tune coming along. You should hear his EP, it's quite good.
Yeah. Any demos out there?
My dog, this is my dog Bruce, and this is his song, I don't know, Feline. There you go, nailed it.
God, I hate them cats.
Jeez.
Fantastic. But yeah, so I think, yeah, like you say, it's really important to be able to diversify sound but then making sure it's still your sonic identity.
Mm.
Um, so I've got a few icebreaker questions for you that I'll bring up actually,
Go on,
just
hit
to
me.
get
Let's do this.
get to know you a little bit more for anyone watching the video now or in post. So we used a few before that I think were pretty good. So we'll start with obviously the musical question. Name 3 artists that you absolutely love at the moment.
I am obsessed with these guys called Somersault. If you ever want to just drink in a field and put some music on shuffle, listen to Somersault because they are incredible. That's like they're just phenomenal, and their lyric writing and their songwriting is amazing.
Mm,
Um, Also obsessed with these guys called Van Sire. I think they're from New York.
mm,
They're a duo, Josh Augustine and Sam Weinmiller. Some of the coolest bass riffs out there. If you're ever stuck sort of writer's block and you want a bass riff, listen to some Van Sire. Um, and lastly, probably so I went to go see Dayglow in Bristol live, and supporting him with this was this Irish dream pop band called Far Caspian,
mhm.
um, who, yeah, lyric writing is amazing and just has the most dreamy tunes for every sort of weather. So yeah, Far Caspian, Van Sire, Somersault.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And sort of sticking with the theme of music, but more on a personal scale. Um, can you think of maybe not your favorite, but a highlight from a show you've been to?
What played at or been to?
One that you've gone to watch someone and they've just really inspired you in some way.
Um, Probably the Dayglow one was kind of inspirational. I know a lot of the time sort of energy levels sort of dip in a set and they'll, play the slower stuff.
Mm.
Um, but he sort of whipped out a 12 string acoustic guitar. It had everyone swaying, and it was just really kind of beautiful to watch. And I went with people that had never heard his music before, and they went away as like the biggest fans. And I think that's just quite inspirational to be able to sort of capture a room if they've not heard you before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the greatest skills is when an artist can sort of come into a venue, no one knows who they are, and you come back out wanting to wanting to be around that artist or listen to them or re-experience that moment in the crowd. Because I think, like say, if the guy pulled out a 12-string acoustic guitar, no one knows his songs, but this is midway through like I guess a more upbeat pop set, would it be?
Yeah, 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 literally.
Yeah, so to be able to pull that off, it's and you say it was a support act, or was that the headliner? Sorry.
No, that was the headline. I mean, what about you
Mm.
guys? Because you guys must go to sort of a lot different concerts than
Oh
like
yeah. We got quite a variation. Callum's just come back from a show. I'll let you take that one away, Callum.
I just come back from Bloodstock over the weekend. Incredible.
that sounds very family friendly.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds bad, but it's so nice. Like, everyone's amazing now. It's just like it's all just like all the metalheads you see, like patch jackets and long hair and beards. It's like everyone's just like that, pretty much. But everyone's so and I don't know, just a lot of double pedal. That's all I heard like all day. It was just it's pretty much just that.
You guys have a double pedal, right?
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. We ensure it has limited use. It's got to be a balance.
No.
More double pedal.
More.
Yeah, we're probably going to write some sections of some songs that just go for it. I think soon we're getting the bug again to do something heavy. We haven't done a heavy one in a while. We've been writing a lot of sort of, I guess, around the bluesier, sort of rockier elements. So I think we're going to probably write a heavy one again soon.
I've actually got a riff I've come up with just now, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
I've actually got a riff you guys can use. I reckon it's going to be amazing. Sorry.
We can jam it out. We can have some fun if you fancy.
I'll play it to you on Saturday, and you can tell me what you think.
Yeah, do it. That'd be fantastic.
All right, amazing.
Just a reminder, as we've gently segued in there, ladies and gents, this Saturday down at the Sanford pub in Wareham, Nori J, ourselves, and a bunch of other talented acts are playing, and it's free entry. So get yourselves down there, have a few drinks. It's going to be fantastic. Anyway, back to it. So I guess a highlight from a show. I mean, there's kind of like in the heavier scene, there's a few reliable bands that everyone just has seen if you're into this kind of music. And I know they're a big stereotype, but Slipknot always put on an insane show. And I was not a Slipknot fan when I went to see them. So I was converted during that hour and a half purely for the insane energy and performance they put on. But in the realm of heavy, Rammstein, I think there's nothing like it. They have the world record for pyrotechnics. It's insane. I'll try and remember to send you a link because wow, you've never seen fire like it. Honestly, it's wild. It's proper wild.
It's so crazy how far they take the show.
Yeah.
I say show.
Yeah.
It's a show. No, it is a show.
It is a show. It's theatrical as fuck.
It's unbelievable.
Sound like you're not agreeing.
Oh, we are. The thing is about this act, they're very strange, right? From an outsider perspective, they are weird. They're like German industrial metal. They turn up. Sometimes they have giant dildos. Sometimes they have flamethrowers. They got giant angel wings. All this crazy stuff. And one of the reasons this one stood out to me is right at the end of the show, they went back into like, I'm just the guy on the street mode, and they thanked everyone. They said, "Thank you for watching our performance. Thank you for all this." And because like they have all these weird bits, like they bully their keyboard player and put him like a glittery suit and like beat him up.
Pour lava on him and stuff.
Yeah, they do some pretty wild shit.
And he's constantly he's always walking on a treadmill as well.
Oh yeah, the whole show he's on a treadmill.
Why? For what reason?
As it just looks good.
Do you know what? I want to see their tech rider for like the smaller shows.
Oh my god! I don't think they're able to do small shows anymore. They're just there's an expectation on these guys. They had a recent show where they actually came to the UK and they did a bit of a tour, and there were noise complaints from 11 miles away, and people were calling the fire brigade because they thought the stadium was on fire.
Yeah, that was in Coventry. I think that was the Coventry show.
Yeah, how wild. That is a hell of a reputation. But the fact that right at the end they just returned to just being like these normal guys, and they were like, "Thank you so much. We really appreciate you supporting our music and our theatre." Sort of, I was like, "Wow, actually," because you forget that when you watch something that extreme.
This is a thing when we were at the Sanford, and we were like for the heat that we were in, and like I was speaking to you guys beforehand, and you were like really friendly and everything, and then you went into your set, and I was like, "What the fuck happened to these really nice people?" Like you guys were watching me stumble over a stool outside for like 20 minutes straight, and then I walk in and we watch your set, and it was just insane and double pedals and heavy and mascara and makeup, and you were wagging your hair around. It was amazing.
We need to get that stage fan on the right side this time, Callum, because when his hair goes up in the fan, it looks so fucking good.
Amazing.
It's just like Yeah, I see what you mean. I think that's kind of part of the reason we've found our home in the rock and metal scene quite well is because that's incredibly common. A lot of the artists who and they always look like the kind of scary, angrier, huge guys, massive beards, all wearing black, crazy makeup, and then you meet them at the bar afterwards, and they're like, "All right, mate, how's it going?" You're like, "That's weird."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's calling you motherfuckers and little bitches downstairs. And
Yeah.
then...
I think being sort of wholesome and being likable goes a long way. If you
Yes.
start if you have an ego at all, you start being a bit pretentious and you start calling people little bitches off stage.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly that,
that's
right?
when promoters start going, "You're not coming here again.
Yeah.
You're annoying." Yeah.
Definitely, and I think the public know that as well. Look at Guns N' Roses, like people still go to see them, but I know their reputation's dropping through the floor. Like they're still turning up the shows 2 hours late, and you, that's wild. How do they
What a
get away
joke.
with that? Like that's I hate the idea of that. We try to be like quite obviously on stage. We want to make it look as smooth as possible. I imagine you're the same, but so much preparation goes into a show, and why can't they just do that? Everyone else can. It's wild.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, you know how it is.
You
Sometimes
know
you
how it
just
is.
gotta.
Just gotta have one more spliff.
I reckon
More
it probably is that.
famous
Yeah.
last
It must be.
words.
One more thing.
Yeah.
So we'll carry on with the icebreakers. We've got a few more for you. And I think this one's probably quite pertinent to the weekend because I don't know about you. We'll be sticking around for drinks. We're not supplying the kit this time, so we're going to be.
Oh.
No, luckily that they've actually hired a kit from Absolute Music. So big shout out to Absolute Music
I'll get it.
for
That's funny.
sorting us out there. It's so nice to have a drum kit that you don't have to have in your car on the way home. Um, but yeah, we'll be sticking around for some drinks. So, what is your go-to alcoholic beverage?
I'm a cider boy. I
Yeah.
think beer tastes like shit, and if I were to drink any sort of spirit and mixer before a show, I think I would swallow the mic. I would have no, I would be awful. So cider is where it's at. So usually like a
Mm.
Copperberg, sort of Stowford, Thatcher's, Recorder something like that. That's my. I feel like you guys are like an ale. I feel like you're an ale lot.
That's Callum. That's definitely Callum.
Yeah, I got. That's what
Nice.
I poured. Steve Fury,
Uh,
Love Ale.
See, I'm very similar to you. I'm not big on beers. I like ciders, but I'm a very spiritual guy. So I tend more towards. Lately, it's the Jack Daniels, just to fulfill every stereotype I possibly can. Um, but you know, if vodka's about, if there are cocktails, I'm all about that life. So
Reckon that-
I love
I think more bands should have cocktails on the tech rider. I think there should
it.
be like an expectation. Like if you're
Right?
gonna pay us an exposure, give us a porn star martini at least, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's reasonable. And not only that, I mean, like cocktails are pretty accessible now. You can get a canned cocktail from Tesco for like £2-3. So I'll take that shit. I don't care.
3 for a fiver, mate. 3 for a
Yeah.
fiver.
Oh, it's perfect. That does us. If we're having like a walk to a show or something, that's what we have on the way.
Just get
Oh,
the
yeah.
bag. You know, you can get like it's like the wine box, but it's like
Oh yeah.
one-star
Or the
martini.
freeze bags.
Yeah.
My parents at the moment are absolutely obsessed with these freezable cocktails they get at Little, and I'm just like, you need to calm down. You've only just retired. Like, I know it's exciting.
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
like weird sorbets, can't you? That are just like completely just alcoholic. You know,
Yeah, and
amazing.
to be fair, they are very nice.
Oh, And
Um,
they don't taste lethal at all. So you have like 4 of them, and then you wonder why you're like eating the staircase.
Catches up with you though.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I was starting to feel that way. We were out in Bridgewater, and we were hanging out with one of the bands afterwards for a bit. We were going to go back to our campsite and just go to bed because we decided to camp the show instead of getting a hotel, um, which was fantastic, by
It
the
was
way.
really
We
good.
camped on a farm and chickens invaded the campsite. It was fantastic. Everything about it was so much fun.
Cheap.
Recommend that if the weather's right.
Extremely
Yeah,
cheap.
it was £10 a night, dude.
That's not too
Woo!
bad.
Yeah, it's a tenth the price of a hotel, so we did that. But then one of the we had an offer we couldn't refuse. The lead singer from the headline act that night turns around and goes, "Lads, Are we having it large in Bridgewater? And I hadn't realised how much I'd drunk by this point, so I was like, yeah, of course we are, yeah.
You come home with a chicken like above your head, like large.
Oh, it was a close call. They let us stroke them just, but I don't think I could have caught the little fuckers. They were pretty quick. When they want to be, they're pretty quick.
I got an icebreaker question for you. Which member
Yeah.
of the band would be more likely to drop kick a chicken when camping for a tenner a night?
Aaron.
I reckon.
You're actually thinking about this. I came up with that on the spot.
Yeah. Oh, you got it. We only give serious answers here. We're very
Yeah,
professional.
no, of course, we're all about being serious.
I think if
I
Aaron's
reckon
had like,
Aaron or Stevie,
4
only
pints,
because they're not here and they can't defend themselves.
if Aaron's got 4 pints of Stella in him, I reckon he'd do it.
Oh, yeah, because he does. He's a big Stella drinker, so enough said. I don't know, Stevie though. He's got a bit of a short temper sometimes. So if that chicken's keeping him awake,
And if we're recording it for the gram,
yeah, true.
he does anything for the gram.
Yeah, if he's got his Pixel 6 out, he'll fucking do it.
Put it on my TikTok, man.
If you haven't seen on Instagram, we've got the most aesthetic pictures of those chickens. And what I didn't realize till recently is that Stevie has tagged us all of the band individually as different chickens. I didn't know that.
I'm having a look now. Bear with. How far down is it? I'm not seeing any chickens, guys. I think you're lying.
Can't be too far down. Can't be too far down. Oh, is it on his Instagram?
Probably
Hold
on
up.
his Instagram.
If you go into the tagged on our page,
Yeah, I'm scrolling. I just want to see some chickens.
Well played, sir. Well played.
Oh, you know what? The chickens can wait, but
I'll send you a link later. I'll send you a link to my pictures of chickens.
The pause was amazing. It was very well played.
I'm an artist. This one's not so much an icebreaker, but what kind of hobbies have you got outside of music?
Well, so I'm obviously training to be a teacher at the moment. I'm a very social person as well, so I'm very sort of hardworking with music and training to be a teacher and doing all that stuff. And then I've just got like a massive social life. So a lot of I don't know if you remember Stanford, we had a big table of friends and they're all in a group chat together.
Yeah, a good bunch of guys.
Yeah, they're lovely, and I just hang out with them. I think half of them are playing pool as we speak, just over in Wimborne in Dorset. So
Nice.
hanging out with them is a lot of it, and I'm a big family man as well. So that's who I went to sort of Jersey with last week. So yeah, just spending time with friends and family and songwriting and music, and then becoming a teacher, really.
Nice. And I assume you're looking at teaching music, is it? Or
Yeah, of course. So I did the GCSE, the A level. I've done a music degree as well. So I'm just gonna sort of teach just in a classroom setting, and then do the sort of Nori J in the evenings or the weekends or whenever it fits.
absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Well, like I say, I can't wait to see you play on Saturday again. The first time was an absolute pleasure. So I think, and also not only that, you guys were so friendly. The whole band actually were really easy to hang out with. I know you mentioned earlier there were some issues with a bench stool that we got to witness and assist.
Okay, so I was problem solving. I'll clear this up. There was like a park bench outside the teepee, as we'll call it, where we were performing, and there was like a park bench, and I wanted to sit at the park bench for the already full park bench, so I grab a little bench, and then it was this big thing. I won't bore you with it. And then we had to, we had to grab another park bench, and it's this whole thing. But yeah, I sorted it because I'm a good problem solver and I didn't struggle at all. So
it was fantastic.
yeah, it was well organized, I think is the word you're looking for.
Fully, absolutely agree with that, and
Yeah,
no one will hear otherwise.
yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Until maybe Saturday. Stevie Lees, our lead guitarist, has just chirped up and said, "What if we, in fact, did have it large?" I can confirm we did have it large.
We did have it.
And we plan to have it large in Sanford this Saturday.
Oh no. I think I'm being driven by my keyboard player, so I may also have it
Oh.
huge.
A bit large.
Here's what we'll do. We will bring a deck of cards
Oh no.
and we will teach you the rules of a game we like to call the fucking,
The
and a
fucking
secondary game we like to call Stevie's Suit.
Okay, but
Maybe.
you guys are on like last, so how are you gonna fit this one in?
Trust me,
Fine.
between us coming off stage and Aaron O'Shea playing his, we're good. Stevie Suits will fuck us.
And before.
Okay, and the fucking, of
Oh, well,
course.
I'll have one or two before. Yeah, I tend to have one or two before stage. I'll never go on drunk ever in my life. I don't plan on doing that.
Good.
However, no,
It's fun.
can you imagine? You know what I'm like drunk. What a nightmare that would be.
I would. That's why I knock the drum kit over every bloody time.
Yeah. I'm such a fucking wind-up merchant when I drink, but I feel like it's in a good way. Lily McIntosh says, "Hey," I say, "Hello there.
Oh.
Good evening. Hope you're well. Hopefully see you on Saturday." Lily came and saw us all at the last show, so hopefully she'll be down again this weekend.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So I think we'll go back into the musical questions if you're happy to. Callum, did you have any lined up?
Yes. You have like a dream guitar you'd like to own or have?
Not really. I've never really been into sort of the hardware side of things. There was a long time where I was going to get a jazz arch top. I can't pronounce it, but I was going to get like a big jazz sort of electroacoustic guitar, because that's sort of the background I came from, and I really wanted that like highly compressed sort of plucky sound that you get with them. But I've never been like a big sort of fan of grabbing as a hardware. I sort of grab it if I think it would be cool, but equally, if everything broke on stage, I could just plug straight into the amp and with like I played my brother's 3/4 size Ibanez, what do I call it, from when I was 8 before, because why not, you know? So yeah, don't really mind too much. I got the Jazz Master because I used to have an Epiphone SG, um, and it was sort of 10 years old. And as a sort of start to the Nori J and the songwriting and everything, I got it sort of Christmas Eve, which was an interesting purchase to do that time of year. So yeah.
And then I've got one more, maybe.
Yeah,
Is
hit
there
me.
any artists or or anyone you'd ever want to like do a collab with?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. So I released my most recent song, Lucky. I wanted to do a collab with someone, and I did it with one of my best mates, Elliot Speed. But before he sort of announced he was just going to stop making music, and Lucky was sort of a send off for him. And from that's actually performed like in a month. It's got like 3.8, just over a month, 3.8K streams, which is like my fastest growing
That's
song
fantastic.
ever. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
congratulations.
done amazing. No, I've been a bit sort of gobsmacked by it all, and it's currently with Radio 1 at the moment. They're sort of pondering whether to play it or not. I'm trying to, get them to. But then
You
yeah,
totally should.
the question comes like which sort of artist do I collab with next? And I've got one that I'm working on with a girl called Mavis Hall. She's a really, really good sort of indie songwriter, sort of locally, and she's moving to London soon as well. I was thinking a lot about don't know if you know the Soul Hole guys,
Yes, yeah.
Jordan and that. Yeah, so I was thinking of how that would work, because we like to gig with each other because we have the exact same sort of tech spec. It's just we replace a keyboard, and
Yeah.
and we've gigged with each other like 2 or 3 times, I think. So I've been thinking about that a lot, but also sort of branching out to a lot of the sort of underground indie artists that I listen to over in America. For example, there's this guy called Will Tulip who writes just cute, like adorable bedroom pop stuff with some really beautiful guitar work. I'd love to do a collab with him and stuff, and I am speaking to him at the moment, which is awesome because
Ooh.
like one of my favorite artists. So yeah, just I don't think the regional one can happen for a while at least. I need to go into my punk era first.
You'd be
Um,
amazed. We got some interesting stuff coming. You'd be amazed.
Holy
Okay.
sock, holy socks.
Oh yeah, we've written a whole pop punk song that we're never gonna release.
oh, amazing!
And
Please
it's
release
really
it.
like it's very stereotypically pop punk as well.
My bass player loves pop punk. Please release it. I beg on behalf of him.
Ooh. Yeah, we got a few things coming up. I'm not going to say too much about in terms of collaboration. Uh, ex member of Pink Floyd or a guy who sessioned for them for quite a long time is someone we're looking at working quite closely with. We're just booking that in for certain at the moment. But we've got some really like bluesy songs that we're working on that need some interesting spacey sounds, and I think this guy's going to be the guy to bring it because we're very much melody driven with a lot of our guitar work, especially. So it's going to be really interesting to see what he brings from a totally different perspective, which is hopefully essentially making it sound like it's in outer space.
All right, amazing.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that would be an absolutely fantastic opportunity. So,
But if you needed if you couldn't think of a second verse and you needed someone to fill in, let me know. I want to hop on a Regional One track now. I think
that's
that would
always
be very
about.
fun.
We are thinking of recording a cover soon, actually.
Oh yeah,
We just need help with the bridge. We need help with.
I told you this. I don't like cooking. Leave me alone. It's not happening.
That was a fantastic callback. I'd forgot about that. Nice. Yeah, I think yeah, that might be a potential. We'll have a chat on Saturday and brainstorm some ideas, I think.
Really.
Cool. What is your earliest memory of music?
Oh, so I have two. My earliest memory and my biggest core memory, as it were, if you were a Disney Pixar fan. So earliest was I was playing my SG, tiny little me, in front of 2,500 people in like a school concert, and we were doing like it was like with my middle school, and we were doing what song did we do? I can't remember. It was like loads of jazz standards, and then there was like a samba break, and then all the other kids got involved. And but I was just sat there. I had like three spotlights on me, like center of like it was the concert hall at the Lighthouse where the BSO performed. And that was filled with parents and stuff, and I was just playing that. That was cool. So that was the earliest memory I've got. But the biggest was like a battle of the bands I did. I was on the opposing band, one of the opposing bands to my um bass player, which was funny at the time. And I did Mr. Blue Sky, and everyone loved it. And I did the guitar solo, and I smashed it. And I came off, and everyone was just so proud of me. And that was like the biggest. So I had the earliest at the Lighthouse, and then biggest at my old school.
Nice, that's awesome.
Hell yeah!
And what was the first album that you ever fell in love with?
Uh, think about that one. I think probably. So I listened to a lot of Blink 182 back in the day. And I think it was Enema of the State that I was listening to. I think it was that one. Did I have Feeling This and Adam's Song and all of them? That was I still have that in my car on CD. It's one of the only CDs I own because I own
Yeah.
either vinyl or Spotify. Um, and yeah, fell in love with it. It sort of crafted a lot of the songwriting that I do now and like how I structure songs, as well as some of the more upbeat ones, like the one that we'll finish the set with on Saturday is very Blink 182 sort of inspired as well. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, we'll keep an ear out for that, definitely.
Oh yeah.
That'd be absolutely fantastic. I think that's kind of all the main questions out the way. I'm just gonna see if I had anything written in my notes actually to ask you specifically. Musical interlude.
Isn't that a doorbell?
For you, baby, I could be. My life is essentially now just references from various movies, primarily Shrek 2.
Shrek spin-off.
I am
That's
so
very niche.
excited.
That's a very niche Shrek reference.
I know.
I'll follow that one. That's very good.
Well,
That's
look,
what
my
he's
old...
scraping the barrel now.
I'm so far gone. Like, yeah, I'm gonna start quoting Rumpelstiltskin at some point and be like, "Who? Shrek 4? What? No one knows that."
Shrek 4's the
They
best
Um,
call
one.
him Flumpy Pigskin. I think that's the best joke in all of Shrek.
Do the roar. Um,
And the
I am
donkey.
way more
Got on your
excited than
waffle.
way more excited than I should be about the Puss in Boots movie that's coming out in December. I think we're all planning to get a little tipsy and go watch that. So you're very welcome to join.
Boots.
When is
And
it?
Boots.
December?
Yeah, I believe so. Let me just check that. The
Oh,
Puss
I'm
in
so
Boots-
down for that. That'll be amazing.
It looks great. It looks
Hey,
so
tipsy.
good.
You can get if you go to like Odeon. There's like a bar at the Odeon.
Yeah, why wouldn't you pre so hard that you don't
Yeah, when you
know
get a
that?
bottle of wine.
It's called Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, and it releases. Oh, it's been pushed back to February. That's
Oh,
fine. February
Valentine's Day.
23.
Oh, never mind.
Valentine's date with Regional 1, please.
Oh, lest. I mean, yes, I'm game. We could do a Valentine's Day meme.
Yeah, I'm down.
I think. Okay, I'm just gonna write that in my notes. 1 second.
Oh, you're right, sure. I'm putting it on my calendar, my shared
Regional
calendar with half my friend group.
Valentine's Day. Boots in Puss. No.
Can we never call it that again? Can we never call it that again?
I get right. So, my old gaming name was Boots in Puss, and now every time I look at Puss in Boots, I get confused which one's the real one.
It is on Steam, isn't it?
Might be.
Sorry to dox you.
That's right. I don't use Steam. Puss in Boots 2. Invite Nori J.
Wait, 2?
Oh, phenomenal.
Well, yeah, there's a first one, but
With
it's
the
Is that-
first one, yeah, with the
Oh,
Kitty soft
it
paws.
was all right. Yeah. Kitty softball. Yeah.
And that was the one with Humpty Dumpty. It was amazing.
Yeah, Humpty Dumpty was an amazing character, actually. I do recommend that.
It was great.
It was so much better than I thought it'd be.
Well, I've
actually,
got to
now I
catch up
remember.
then.
Yeah, you do.
Dude, that's okay. We can sort that out. We
We
can
can
have
watch
a
all the
movie night in
Shreks,
mine.
including the Christmas special. I love the Christmas.
Wait, the Christmas special.
Yeah.
Hold on.
The pigs are like, look at us, pigs in blankets.
Oh! I do think Shrek might be the greatest film of the
Oh, it is. I'll stand by Shrek till I die.
century. Yeah, they don't make comedies like that anymore. I think everyone's too scared to make jokes about things. And like Shrek was just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I think
It
that's
was
the
so
point, wasn't it?
perfectly
Because
blended.
the guy who wrote the screenplay for it or something like that got fired from Disney. It's basically Shrek 1 was a massive FU.
Yeah. And you know what? It worked.
Yeah.
dude.
Brilliant.
It's wild. Like,
Love it.
did you
What
ever
worked
see the?
is it?
What's that?
So
Sorry.
you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you ever see the original concept art for Shrek?
No.
Very different. Before Mike Myers was attached to it, it's very different. It wouldn't have been as good.
I was just gonna say, I love that it just shits on absolutely every fairy tale. Movies that shit on other movies are great.
It's literally
Yeah, when done right, they're perfect.
right at the start of the movie is while he's reading the fairy tale story and he wipes his ass with it.
It's like,
Perfect.
Oh, it's all the small details, man. It adds up so perfectly.
True cinema.
Yeah, so fantastic. So, we're coming up to about an hour mark. So, I think we'll think about wrapping up if you're happy to.
yeah, more than happy to. Cheers for having me, guys. It's been
Fantastic.
lovely. And obviously I'll see you and probably get smashed with you on Saturday.
Hell yeah, Batman. That's
Hell
how
yeah.
we do. That's how we do. That'd be fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Really appreciate your time. And it's been really nice to get to know you a bit more. Looking forward to expanding that on Saturday. So, anyone watching, listening, this Saturday, Wareham in Dorset at the old Sanford pub without the old. It's just the Sanford
We keep
pub.
saying Old Sanford pub and it's not
The old Sanford
old
pub, you
Sanford
come out nowhere.
pub.
That's how it sounds in Dorset for anyone who is listening from Dorset. Yes, we'll all be playing. It's going to be a fantastic day of free live music. The caliber is incredible. Please do
lot.
come down to
A
support
lot
it.
of free live music.
It's a lot. Yeah, I'm not sure how many. I might
It's
just
like 1
actually have a
till
quick
11,
read out.
isn't it? So
Yeah, it's like 1 p.m. till 11. Yeah, and we've got special guest Aaron O'Shea. We've been on his podcast before, so you might recognize him. Fantastic musician, fantastic singer. Come down and check that out. And this one's hosted by AMG Presents and Rock Regeneration. That's Dave Chinnery or Shinnery, I've been told it might be.
I thought it was Chinnery because everyone calls him Chinners.
Yeah, same. And then I spoke to him the other day, and I swear he said Shinnery. But I'd had a few
I don't like
drinks.
that. We'll just call
Yeah.
him Mate. There you go.
All
What's
right,
up,
mate. Chinners. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, we worked a festival with Chinners this weekend, and he was real great fun. So he's a real fun host to have. He's a good lad. And speaking of which, tomorrow we will be having another live stream here on Facebook with
Back to back.
David Chinnery. Yeah, we're going back to back. We're bringing on the Chinners. Yeah, so that'll be a slightly different theme. But hopefully you can all make it. Come and have a watch. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you again, Nori J, for coming on. Really appreciate it. If people want to check you out, where's best to find you?
At Nori J on absolutely everything: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can just search Nori J on Spotify, and all my songs are just there for you.
Absolutely brilliant. Okay, mate. Well, thank you very much. We'll drop you into the green room. We'll come have a quick chat with you after the sign off. Thank you again for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. And if we don't see you before, we will see you on Saturday.
I will see you then. Cheers.
Fantastic. Bye bye.
All right. Already gone.
Yeah, I moved him in.
Oh, you.
Right, it was my bad. Well, anyone still watching? Just before we go, the lineup for Sandfest Live, the final at the Sanford Pub, Saturday, 20th of August from 1 p.m. till 11 p.m. includes the following: Millie Watson, C. Luna, Finlay Leslie, that's Finlay Leslie, Ian Roberts, The Rough Cuts, Lee Rusdell Dove, Kez Irving, Regional One, Lawrence Henderson, Nori J, The Haze, and Rago Bloom, with a special guest of Aaron O'Shea. So please do come down, see us, come check out all the amazing free live music on Saturday. We will see you then. Thank you and good night.
Night.